Well, it's a little sketchy, but it's not as bad as I anticipated. What's up, guys? Welcome to an Astro episode. First up, first time out with the R5 Mark II for Astro. So I'm doing a lot with wildlife and landscape and all that stuff, but you know, if you're not new to the channel, then you definitely know I'm also an astrophotographer. I love night stuff. And I get a lot of questions about high megapixels not being good for Astro, and you can't do Astro with, or they're hesitant. People are hesitant to even try Astro if an R5II or an R5 or something is like your only camera, you know, and you want to try Astro, and people told you can't do it because it's too many megapixels. Well, I have choice words for those people, but we're not going to use them. We're gonna be nice. All I'll say is that I do Astro with the R5 all the time. I'm not going to do a comparison. Maybe if you guys want to see like an actual comparison between this and the R6II and the R5, let me know down below, but I'm not going to do that right now because it's my first time out with this, and all I want to do is just see if I can get some nice Milky Way shots. We've got the Milky Way over here. We are standing on a sketchy dock. That's what I was talking about earlier. But it's not a floaty dock. It does have big concrete pillars underneath it. We just have to stay really calm, but there's no wind. We've got a lake. We've got a mountain line, not mountain lion, which there are mountain lions behind me. So camera lady is on a keen lookout behind us.
Oh, we're all gonna die.
And we've got the Milky Way right over here over this mountain ridge. Mountain top. Perfectly clear night, no moon. Tonight's new moon, so it's Labor Day actually today. So I'm at 15 seconds f4 ISO 4000, and with those settings it's giving me two-thirds of a stop overexpose, it says, and I'm very cool with that. So I don't have anything on me, so I'm going to take a couple of these shots, manual focus of course. The cool thing about the R5II and the R6II, I think does it also, that the R5 did not, is that I can now shoot in electronic shutter mode longer. I think the R5 limited was like half a second you can only do. So you could never do long exposures, anything with the R5 in electronic shutter, but now you can. So I'll probably never ever take this out of electronic shutter. All right, so we're just going to take a few shots, and I'm going to get a couple compositions. There's not much to do out here. There's not much else to show you out here. So I'm going to grab these shots, and then we're going to jump into the computer, and I'm going to take a look and edit at least one or two of them and walk you through so you can see what it looks like, the raw images, and what my editing process is, and we'll go from there. All right, back in the studio. That time lapse that I just shot, or that you just saw, was shot on the R5II also the same night that we filmed this. That was like over 2 weeks ago, because today's the 19th and I shot that on Labor Day, so that was like 2 weeks ago. But that was all shot on the same night. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that in there so you know and you get an idea that, like, yeah, you can definitely do astrolapses with that. That was a horribly composed and lit scene. It wasn't a great composition, and the scene itself was way too dynamic, you know, going on with the highlights from the fire and all that stuff, and then the darkness from the skies and everything. I mean, I don't really care personally because I only shot that time lapse not as an example or anything, but I shot it as like B-roll for my other video that we filmed there that night, which was the R5II for wildlife. So if you're interested in wildlife, you can definitely check that out too. Anyways, let's jump into the computer. I took a couple of different shots at different ISO levels and whatnot. We're going to mess around with a couple of those, and then maybe look at stacking a few and just kind of seeing what we can get out of it and if I'm happy with it. All right, so we're here in Bridge. These first ones, they're looking really light because it wasn't quite Astro twilight yet. There was still some ambient light going down from the sun. And then, so we're getting darker here. Let's just go pick one of the darker ones. Okay, so here's a super dark one that was part of the stack that I did. So we'll just take a look at this single shot here. So I'm gonna go ahead and edit one of these and just see like what a regular shot would look like from, you know, high ISO. We're at 4,000, and I think I heard somebody say that that might be an unofficial dual gain. I don't know if that's just for video or if it's for photo, but we'll go ahead and just edit this anyway. So I'm just gonna do a few things just to clean this up a little bit. So you'll notice when I brought up the exposure by like 1 stop, which isn't super much, but you'll notice all of the discoloration with the greens and the magentas. So the color noise, that's not super great. This is definitely underexposed though, so that's another problem. When you're starting with an image that's already technically underexposed, we're really pushing it hard. So to combat that, I'm definitely going to go down here and use the new AI denoising. That is a massive difference. So that's the before and that's the after. Okay, so there's our original, and then there is the denoised. So we still have some color noise in there. So one of the things I'm going to do is just come in here to the optics, and I'm just going to bring up that a bit to reduce some of that, if there was any lingering color aberrations or anything in there. And then we can come up here again to the color mixer, and we can just bring these purples and magentas down a little bit. Okay, so we still got some wonky colors going on in there. I am going to go ahead and crop some of that vignette and that kind of stuff out. Luckily we got plenty of info to work with here. I did mention this was on the 16mm f4 at f4, right? Okay, just want to make sure. So it's not the best lens in the world for Astro. That's another thing going. Okay, so now let's take a look at the stacked image. So I use a program called Sequator, and if you don't have that, it's free, but it's only for PC. It's not for Mac. For Apple, I think there's another program. It costs money. I don't know what it's like, Starry Landscape Stacker or something like that. I don't know, but that's not free, but it's similar. So you can use any stacking program you want. Just Sequator is the one that I have. I think it's the one that does the best job for PC and for the type of like landscape stuff that I do. All right, so I stacked all of these images. There's like 56 or something that I stacked. And then it gave me this TIFF file here, but I've already worked on the PSD here, so let's just open that PSD up. Okay, so here's the PSD, and this is how it looked after it was stacked. So let's just zoom in here real quick. Okay, so this isn't super scientific, and it's obviously not completely fair, but let's just look at the 3 of these. So on the right here, we have the DNG straight out of camera, no edits, nothing. And then on the very left, we have the noise reduced, already edited in camera raw shot. And then on the right, in the center, we have the raw stacked TIFF. Okay, so across all 3 of them, you can see this dot right here. This is the Lagoon Nebula, and then this is part of the Dark Horse Nebula. So this is what we were able to clean up with one denoising with one image, denoised AI denoising. This is the stack of 56 raw images, and then this is the single unedited raw. All right, so now I'll turn on all the edits. So you can tell we've definitely got more detail in the stacked. I also pushed it harder, so let's just zoom back out. So now you can look side by side. The color is definitely better on here. Obviously I didn't edit quite the same way. You can see the reflection on the single shot, but not in the stacked version. And you know, I could make that happen if I wanted to, but that's more editing than I felt like putting into it. For this, we just want to look at the Pipe Nebula right here. So this region right here is the Pipe Nebula. So there's a lot more detail in the whole Milky Way in general. There's a lot more detail. Okay, so let's take a look at these real quick. So this is at ISO 12,800 and this is at ISO 6400. So at 6400, I would definitely say we can still work with this. At 12,800, this is starting to be painful, especially because, remember, this is just underexposed as a whole. You know, like when I'm doing wildlife or whatever, I don't have a problem going to 6400, and I don't have a problem going to 10,000 or 12,800 if I have to. But when I'm shooting those, it's probably going to be, there's going to be more light still than this. And so this is just really underexposed, and you're really seeing that. You know, you can, I mean, just look at that. That's getting pretty bad. Now let's compare. So there's not as much banding at 6400. And you can start seeing the noise patterns. But overall, I still think it's doable. And then you saw what we can do when we stack. All right, so that's just kind of my first look at Astro with the R5 Mark II. Certainly nothing amazing in terms of what I got that night. Everything that I took was just basically for this. So certainly not anything that's going to win any awards or be portfolio worthy. But I'm certainly happy with just what I got and what I was able to edit out of what I got. And I would definitely post these images to social media or the website or whatever. You know, I think they're fine for just all intents and purposes. My point for this video definitely wasn't to nitpick or to say look how good or look how bad or anything. My point is basically, don't worry about what you have. Don't worry about high megapixels. Don't worry about a slow lens, f4, f5.6, whatever. Just take whatever you have. And if this is what you have, an R5 Mark II and an f4 lens, take that and go outside and try Astro if you're interested in Astro. I think you'll probably really enjoy it rather than just sitting at home listening to people tell you not to do something because you don't have the ideal gear. And of course, if you're gonna actually put some like real effort into it with, you know, better stacking techniques and, you know, lighting foregrounds and better editing techniques and better lenses and all that kind of stuff, then I think you're definitely gonna be able to really push this camera and get some very nice stuff with it. Let me know what you think about the images that I got or anything just down in the comments below. Love to hear your thoughts on, are you gonna try Astro with the R5 Mark II? I definitely think you should, because a night out under the stars is just always amazing. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.